And joining me now to continue this conversation is Michael Fanone, former D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer, Courage for America Council member, and author of Hold the Line, The Insurrection and One Cop's Battle for America's Soul. Officer Fanone, as always, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday show. You know, Donald Trump has repeatedly pledged to pardon January 6th insurrectionists, and that could potentially include the man who attacked you with the stun gun. What do you think of that possibility?
I think it's sickening. I mean, the idea that a president or presidential candidate in the United States of America would align himself with individuals who assaulted police officers who are simply doing their job, like myself, on January 6, 2021 at the United States Capitol.
Mm-hmm. Michael, some are still downplaying the January 6th, what happened on January 6th, including Republicans who were there. Listen to what Senator J.D. Vance said on CNN on Wednesday.
I'm extremely skeptical that Mike Pence's life was ever in danger. I think politics people like to really exaggerate things from time to time. I know a lot of folks in the Democratic Party, Senator. A lot of folks in the Democratic Party, Caitlin, act as if January the 6th was the scariest moment of their lives. I think, look, January 6th was a bad day. It was a riot. But the idea that Donald Trump endangered anyone's lives when he told them to protest peacefully, it's just absurd.
Officer Fanone, why are he and others continuously trying to rewrite the history of that day?
Because it doesn't serve their own interests and the interests of their political party, the Republican Party. I mean, listen, I understand how inconvenient it is for people like J.D. Vance and other Republicans to admit that it was their leader, former President Donald Trump, who inspired and incited an insurrection on January 6th at the United States Capitol in an attempt to subvert democracy and hold on to power. That being said, I mean, that's the reality. You know, this is not a policy debate. This is a debate as to the reality of a day inspired by a Republican leader, carried out by his supporters, in an act of extreme violence, brutal violence against police officers.
You know, Officer Fanone, when asked in that Time magazine interview about the prospect of political violence regarding the outcome of November's election, Trump said, and I'm quoting, "It depends. It always depends on the fairness of an election." Is that an invitation to his supporters to carry out another January 6th, do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, everything in that article, was exactly what I've come to expect from the former president. His statements are in his own self-interest, not in what's best for this country. And they're sick. The idea that he would refuse to commit to the peaceful transfer of power, one of the most basic, fundamental principles of any United States politician in adhering to the U.S. Constitution. And he refuses to do that. And we all know why. In his mind, elections are honest if he wins them, and they're dishonest or rigged if he loses. But 60 plus courts in the previous election told us that this was an honest and fair election and that Donald Trump lost and Joe Biden is our president.
And with that, we're going to leave it there. Former Metropolitan D.C. police officer Michael Fanone, as always.